What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Anteiku Nation, my home, your home for all things gaming and all things Cardfight Vanguard 0. Today, we take a look at Nova Grapplers, the iconic restanding clan of Kamui Katsuragi. Before we begin, guys, please hit that like button if you like this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the bell so that you can be notified each and every time we upload a new video. Also, I'd like to thank all the new subs that the channel has received as of late. And if you like this channel, guys, please also check out a friend of mine's channel as well called Final Phase Gaming. He is a super awesome guy with a love for not only Vanguard, but Yu-Gi-Oh! And other card games as well. I will post a link to our Discord if you would like to join us on there as well. So with that out of the way, guys, let's get right into it. Over the last few days, I've spent my ranked games in the A bracket fighting towards S rank. Initially I was running Kagura, but I decided to switch things up early on in A3 as the matches were becoming highly unfavorable. So I decided to give Nova Grapplers a try, and quite honestly, I am not disappointed. In this video I'll explain my cards of choice, as well as provide footage of one of my ranked games in A1 to showcase how the deck is performing for me so far. As far as the deck's focus goes, I have built the deck around Gold Rutile. This grade 3 unit allows you to restand a rearguard for 2 counterblasts, provided his attack hits the Vanguard. I have found Gold Rutile to be more consistent than Ashura Kaiser. The fact that after the rearguard lands its attack on the Vanguard, it will also allow you to unflip 1 damage, thus cutting the cost of Gold Rutile's ability in half. I do have 2 copies of Ashura Kaiser in here as a form of backup, but typically if I can't ride him, I will shoot for Lion Heat. Lion Heat is on par in my opinion, but not quite as good as Gold Rutile. His ability still costs 2 counterblasts to restand a rearguard once his attack hits the Vanguard itself. The only drawback is his skill does not allow you to unflip damage. But one thing to note is that Lion Heat's ability can be used on both Vanguard and rearguard circles. Next, we look at another important grade 3 unit, Death Metal Droid. You will always want this guy on the rearguard circle, as you will attack to kill an opponent's rearguard, then use Gold Rutile to stand him up. And the best part is, if Death Metal's attack is less than the target it is attacking, you can then counterblast 1 to give him an additional 3k boost. Now moving on, we take a look at the grade 2 units of the deck. First up is the magnificent King of Sword. King of Sword is one of the best 10k vanilla units in the game, as when he is boosted by Queen of Hearts, he swings for 20,000. Now 20k is a magic number in Vanguard. For example, if the Vanguard hits the opponent's Vanguard and they damage check a trigger, then their Vanguard will be 20k. So when you restand King of Sword, he can swing for that magic number boosted by Queen of Hearts. This can be even deadlier if, say, you hit a drive check trigger and gave the power bonus to King of Sword. Then he can swing for 25,000, which is again a magic number. Coming up in second place is Transriser. Transriser is a card I like but dislike at the same time. His ability allows you to look at the top card, and if it's a grade 2 or less, you call it to a rearguard circle. If it is a grade 3, then the card goes back into the deck and the deck is then shuffled. I have mixed feelings about this card, as he is like a 7k grade 2, which is bad in my opinion. And most of the time, in my own experience, I either whiff by checking a grade 3 or he superior calls my perfect guard. Still, the upside of this card is he is still a grade 2 intercept, and he also allows you to shuffle the deck. But there is also the chance you could superior call another Transriser, which will then superior call something else, potentially. And lastly, for the grade 2s, guys, we have Kung Fu Kid Bolta, an 8k grade 2 who goes to 11,000 provided you have more rearguards than your opponent. He is a solid attacker as well as an interceptor, and another good target to restand with your Vanguard. And finally, guys, we have Hungry Dumpty to round out the grade 2s, who is our grade 2 9k damage unflipper. Moving on to the grade 1s now, we're first going to look at the staples, which is obviously our 4 perfect guards. Cannot tell you how many times these guys have saved me a game I would have otherwise just flat out lost. So yeah, guys, make sure you pick these up like yesterday, like right now. Don't craft any other double rares. Get yourself a set of perfect guards. Now, if you haven't already, take a look at the Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts is the King of Swords personal booster, which is why she's in this deck. She is what allows King of Sword to actually swing for the 25k, because she is a 7k booster who gives an additional 3k as long as she is boosting King of Sword. So yeah, she's really good. We also have Claydol mechanics to unflip damage. So it's the equivalent of Hungry Dumpty. We are also running 4 8k vanillas in this unit, aka our Tough Boy. He's a solid first ride unit and a solid back row booster to help hit those magic numbers. And lastly, as for our starter, we're running Battle Razor, who is also a stand trigger. So once he boosts your Vanguard, he's going to go back into the deck at the end of the turn and draw you an additional card. This is also good for the fact that if you drive check him, he's going to restand your unit, give it a power bonus. And if you are, if you draw him, just straight out just draw him out of your deck, then you can use him as a booster and again shuffle him back into the deck, draw a card, and rinse and repeat. Now going forward, guys, we're going to look at our trigger lineup. With our triggers, I definitely chose to run 9 draw 4 heal. Novas have always wanted draw triggers, even back in the day when they first initially came out, and probably well on into the G format and maybe even V format. Not very familiar with V format, but given my history with Novas, they have always wanted draw triggers because the deck has never had way to plus. You definitely need field presence in this deck for it to perform optimally. So I strongly suggest running draw triggers. Yes, crits are nice, stands are nice, but there's just something about being able to get that hand advantage, get the cards that you need, be able to keep your board up, because if you're facing Kagero, if you're facing Royals because of Blaster Blade, they're going to try to retire your important units, and it's very, very important to be able to refill your board to keep that pressure just going, so that, Go Rutal has his, his targets for you to keep restanding and just keep hammering that pressure on your opponent. Now, looking at my personal thoughts on this deck, guys, is that this deck is all around a very solid deck that is pretty dang consistent in what it does. I am considering changing out Trans Risers for maybe more Bolta or maybe Brutal Jacks, as my testing of this deck is leading me to feel Trans Riser kind of whiffs me more than helps. And that kind of feels bad when you check the top card to see a heal trigger or a draw trigger, knowing that that trigger could have been your drive check. I have also considered maybe changing out Lion Heat for Brutal Joker, as the ability to gain 4k with 1 counterblast looks enticing, but considering on the Vanguard he would basically be a vanilla is rather bad. You could opt for Mr. Invincible maybe as a one of, but I just don't see him being that great in this deck. That's my thoughts, guys, on this deck. I am really enjoying it, win or lose. And it has helped for me to keep, going in A rank, as in my own experience, A rank has been a battle to get through. I hope that you enjoyed this deck, guys, and, I hope my thoughts and opinions on this helps you. If you have any thoughts or opinions of your own, and you would like to share, please drop them down in the comments below, as I would love to hear from you. And please stay tuned for in-game footage of my A1 rank game footage of Novas versus Oracle Think Tank. And until next time, guys, as always, stay strong, stay healthy, and stand up, my Vanguard!